Ice Revolution, it's Brian again. I'll go ahead and apologize for my voice. I lost my voice yesterday, and Jay is traveling today, so he asked me to do the talk. So we're going to try it out, see how it works. It's probably not going to come across too well on the podcast, but I'll do what I can. Hope everyone has had a good week. Um, a lot of people, it was the first week back after the holidays, first week back for people with kids. I know that's a bit of a hard time for a lot of families after the excitement of the holidays or the loneliness of the holidays, depending on your situation. So I hope for those of you who are getting back into the regular agenda for 2026 that it was a time where you were able to rest and you were able to spend some time with friends or family or be alone if that's what you choose to do. Before I talk a little bit about the impact of grace for me today, I want to start by saying that if any of you have been impacted by revolution, have uh, been part of a community that revolution has advocated for, have spent time with Jay, have had Jay on your podcast, have had dinner with him, have benefited from the ministries of his parents and his family, have listened to his mom's albums, um, and are part of the Revolution community. It's not an ask for donations. That's easy. People can donate money. I think you should donate money. I like giving um, money that I'm able to my friends when they need it. Jay works multiple jobs. Revolution is only a very small part of his income. And he truly believes, as I do, that Revolution can do more if we were financially able to. Um, More in person, more in online, more resources, more advocacy, more relationships. So, but aside from that, Revolution would love to have um, people that are able to work on some of the administrative tasks that help us grow. We could really use someone who could help out with bookkeeping, accounting. Um, these are hard things for Jay to ask for, so I'm doing it. If you print T-shirts and want to donate T-shirts, I used to work at a church where a guy donated T-shirts. It was awesome. Um, Worked at a print shop, and the shirts were rad, and we were able to sometimes sell them, mostly give them away. It was awesome. If you are work in social media, if you work in graphic design, if you work in if you know how to use YouTube better than I do, you know, we're if you have opportunities for Jay to come speak at your youth group or church or farmers market or whatever, um, think about it this week. Think about if you're a part of this revolution community, if Jay has touched your life in some way, make it a regular thing. Jay or I read every message that comes in. It's not, there's no administrative assistant, there's no web manager. So we see when people comment, we see when people share, we see when people are impacted by the message. Um, so it's not like, Jay doesn't know the people that follow and support Revolution. It's kind of a beautiful thing after 30 years that he's still able to do this. Um, but in his mind, and I agree, I think there's more to be done, especially where we are as a society and as a people, and with church and living in the US right now. It's things are kind of crazy, kind of hard not to get wrapped up in it. So think about it first. And if you can give financially, that's super awesome. And Jay is very grateful. Uh, he's the only paid staff person at Revolution. So you are supporting the work that Jay is doing directly, as well as some of the expenses to keep up web hosting and pay taxes and do the stuff that we have to do. So appreciate that in advance for you spending some time to think about that, and anything that this community is able to do, I know is appreciated. So um, since we're in January and since Jay's back in Galatians, um, it's just an appropriate time to talk about grace. I mean, what's not an appropriate time to talk about grace? Um, Grace has impacted my life probably more than any other concept. And I was talking to my wife about this yesterday, and I was like, it's my background is, I grew up a Christian. I was a pastor for a little bit. Not that any of that matters. I haven't been a pastor in a long time, but she was asking me, what are you going to talk about? I was like, I think I'm going to talk about grace and not use the Bible, which is funny to me because you got to have your verses. Uh, I used to have friends that would get furious if preachers didn't preach from the Bible using verses. Oh, joke's on you. I'm not a preacher, so I don't give a shit. I, I'm fascinated by grace to this day. I'm fascinated by the fact that it remains one of the most powerful concepts that we can share as a society. And the reason for that is that grace is transformative. Accepting the grace from someone else changes something inside of you. It humanizes people. I mean, what do we suffer from so much these days is that we're not treating each other as humans. It's us versus them. It's a cultural war. I don't like this class of people, whether it be conservative or liberal or racial based or gender identities. And you pick something. I don't like people that are Calvinist or really good at science. I don't know what it is, but we find something. I don't like that type of people. I do it too. I guarantee you that everybody that's hearing my terrible voice right now has some category of people that you don't like it. I grew up in the punk rock music, in the punk rock movement, and it was like, oh, the punks don't like the jocks, and the jocks don't like the nerds, and the nerds don't like the popular people, the preps, or whatever it was, whatever category it was. We've been doing this since we were very young. And I'm not saying that you have to like and get along with everybody. That's insane. But receiving grace and showing grace to somebody when you may not understand where they're coming from, or you say, that's not my thing, that's your perspective, and trying to understand where they're coming from, I think, is the most transformative human interaction that we have. I was texting with Jay earlier this morning, and he was going back and forth with somebody online over a political post, and this person was a conservative Christian, and Jay was kind of calling out some of the bad behavior, as he uh, is known to do, some of the inconsistent actions that are inconsistent with the teachings in the Bible that Christians often use in order to categorize or alienate other people, or categorize them as other, or just demean them as less than a Christian person would be considered. So Jay's calling this out. This other person's going back saying, "Well, aren't you judgmental in the way that you're interacting?" And what Jay and I were, you know, talking about, it wasn't really going anywhere, because Jay is trying to understand where this guy is coming from. Why can you take some of the belief system that you ascribe to in Christianity and then exhibit these types of behaviors towards a group of people? Like it seems to be so inconsistent. And so what I what I told him is that it's not a matter of whether that person uh, would listen to you or not, because I don't believe that they would were listening to Jay. They were looking to just get into an argument. But it's if we were able to show grace to another group of people, it's impossible to dehumanize them to a point where you issue these blanket statements and and, and can't see them as human. And I struggle with that because the first thing I want to say is fuck that guy. He doesn't deserve grace. He doesn't deserve your time. He doesn't deserve for you to understand his perspective. He doesn't deserve for you to to give him the peace of mind of a dialogue back and forth. But what fascinates me with Jay is through all this time, through the shit that he's gone through from very early on in life, what his family has gone through, the loss of his mother, the the way that he and his family have been treated over time, is that time and time and time again, he shows grace to people that have treated him poorly. It's insanity. I don't think I've met another person that wouldn't want to just walk off into the woods and say screw it to all of them. But what I keep learning is that that concept of grace was transformative in Jay. He was able to say, if I truly believe what I say I believe, then even though it may be hurtful, even though I may be mad, even though I don't think at the time that these people deserve it, I'm going to keep showing back up, even if I've lost everything, even if the money is dried up, even if a relationship has fallen apart. I'm still going to show back up to those people. I'm going to try to understand why they have the perspective that they do. I'm going to still speak what I believe to be truth into their lives. I'm going to go to the ends of the earth to support them and advocate for their right to feel that way at my own expense, at my own cost of time, at my own resource, because I've been transformed by the concept of grace, by the idea of grace. And so, as frustrating as it may be, I have to be introspective and say, why? Why am I unable to do that? I mean, the very simple answer is at the time, I don't think that those people deserve grace. I don't think that they have a right to feel the way that they do. But in my heart, I know that's not true if I believe what I say that I believe. I mean, what would things look like if we stopped battling for some ideology or some party and fought for, battled for, advocated for other humans, for kindness towards one another, for basic rights for one another? Because a lot of what we've taken on being these same sides, like there was no reason for the punks to hate the jocks or the jocks to hate the punks. There was no reason for it. Just because somebody has uh, an affinity for one source of entertainment versus another. I think the risk is, and what people often say to me for having this, like, well, everybody deserves the same treatment, and everybody, it's like we fight against this idea that, well, what if they don't deserve it? Um, None of us deserve it. None of us deserve grace. I certainly don't. I would, if I received what I deserved, I've been a piece of shit. I've treated people poorly. I don't deserve to have the life that I have or to have the friends that I have or the love from other people. I'm appreciative of that, that in spite of myself, people that I've been surrounded with have cheered me on and shown me grace and watched me grow and cared for me while I grew. And that transformed me. There have not been many other people that are willing to take the time for people to grow and people to change. Or when I'm struggling with something that those people gave me the space to be able to ask questions and not jump down my throat. Not everybody, but the ones that are still there. And that allowed me to kind of expand my view, learn more. And they showed me kindness in those moments. So when I see somebody who is, what I consider to be on the other side, it's harder for me not to show them the same grace, to still speak my mind, but to understand that it takes time and it takes effort and it takes love and it takes creating an environment where those people are allowed to grow. That's not a fun message. That's not something that is catchy because it doesn't happen in an instant for a lot of people. It's time consuming, it's frustrating. It takes your resource of time. It might take your resource of money, but ultimately, it creates a space for people to grow. It's not a short fix. None of this is a short fix. And that's frustrating because I think we want answers now. It's frustrating when you say something that you're like, this is true, it's objectively true. And the person that you're speaking to is like, well, I don't believe you. The earth is flat. So it's something that once experienced is hard to walk away from. That's why I think grace is important. Um, my favorite messages to people is a call to action. Um, I like being motivated by these are some things that we can do right now that could change the immediate sphere of influence around you. And since we're starting off in a new year, maybe this is as good time as any. Uh, so, what I would ask for you guys today, and I'll join you, is in those moments of conflict when the easy thing would be to give someone a piece of your mind, tell them what you think, write them off, at least attempt this week to give them the space to grow, to show them grace and kindness, not because they deserve it, but because it gives them the ability to grow and know that you would be there even if you disagree with them. Um, sounds pretty kumbaya, but I really do think that if we treated each other with a large dose of humanity and a lot more empathy, if we truly cared what happened to other people and not just ourselves, um, I think that is transformative. What people are looking for, which is a better quality of life, I think that creates a better quality of life. I think that creates a better society for us to live in. I think that reduces the anger and the anxiety, the depression, the sadness, the worry that we all deal with. If we can show people compassion, especially when it's hard, especially when we disagree, I really think that that's the way that the majority of people can transform society around them. There will always be people that are selfish. There will always be people that do not care about others, that are going to fight for what they want at the expense of others, no matter what. And we have to show grace to them too. There's a reason why that happens. There's a reason why people get there. So there's a lot of words to say that there's not an easy answer to this. Um, I don't want anybody to mistake what I'm saying is putting yourself in harm's way. Um, Although shit, that's happened thousands of times in history. That in order to show the seriousness of your conviction, that people laid down on the tracks or stood in front of the opposition and put themselves in harm's way. Um, so please keep yourself safe, um, unless that's really what needs to be done. I don't know. It's probably just the ramblings of some guy sitting in Texas, hoping for things to get better. But um, as you can tell by now, this is not what I do every single week. Jay's much better at this than I am, but I do care very much about this community, all of you, some whom I have met and we keep in contact with, some who I haven't met, some who probably think this is the worst stock. Uh, I don't care. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate those of you more so that support Jay. Um, I really do care about him and his family, his beautiful children, and I care about the work that he's doing. So, uh, if you don't like my message, that's fine. Um, but please support what Jay's doing. Support him as a friend. Support him as somebody who cares about you. Send him a note if you listened to the talk and liked it. Those things. I mean, just imagine you put your heart out there on the entire internet, and somebody takes the time to write you a note. That means a lot, seriously. And we want to keep in touch with you guys. So the more communication, the better. Let's not isolate ourselves behind our computers, and let's keep moving forward. Thanks a lot, Revolution. Uh, we'll see how this goes. The audio is probably going to be terrible, but if you hung in this far, appreciate you. Have a good week.